particles. So now what are we looking at it? We are looking at this one. Can we use this one to generate nanoparticles, which comes up in a big way. So here creating a nanoparticle by physical and chemical breakdown. The bottom up is assembling nanoparticles atom by atom or molecule by molecule in a self-assembled fashion. See, if you want to do this, this fellow gets adhered to it. When it gets into the nanoscale, the surface tension, the van der Waals force are going to be dominant. In normal routines, you talk about gravity. When it gets into smaller surface tension, viscosity, van der Waals force, they all become dominating as compared to that of gravity. So we try to understand that cohesive force, and then we start playing with particles. So that's what we are trying to look into here. So solar thermal energy, which we are using it to assist in making abiotic and biomass combustion, we try to do it. So this is how a typical top-down starts. Transformation energy, you break it, you have a nanoparticle. So whatever is nanoparticle, you can have a fullerene structure, diamond structure. These are all for carbon, graphite. All these colors are very good for agricultural. Fullerene, diamond-like particles, graphene. All these things are very good. We use these graphene and we start coating on top of it. The other way around is you start with some precursor, some liquid, some molecule. So you mix up this molecule, identify what they like each other. So these two fellows like each other, they generate a compound. So where all these nanoparticles are used, it on the advantages, it helps you in increasing yield, right? It also helps you in mitigating with the stress. The stress mitigation is the climate and other things. Agrochemical production rate, efficiency, minimizing waste, nanoparticles, nanosensors, and specific nanofertilizers and nanopests are also part of it. So these are typically where the nanotechnology is used in agriculture, where sustainability is very important. Food packaging, precision farming, they try to do remote sensing. Then when we talk about nano-based products, nano-fertilizers, we look at nano-fungicides, nano-pesticides, and crop improvement, which helps, which also crop improvement comes from gene transfer and nano-food. Okay, so these are the things in nanotechnology. Well, let me go back to my other things where we are trying to talk about. So some of the modern tools which are used in agriculture from the sustainability point of view. You have mechanical sensor grade gates, soil resistance to applied resistive forces. So they can be used in creating the sound and soil assessment. So today we have got several of these agricultural based sensors which are used to find out the temperature, relative humidity, as well as it is able to find out whatever the gas which is getting evolved or produced. Plus, it also tries to produce sound, and it also tries to understand what is the amount of dust particles which are there around it. So for all these things, we try to do nano coating, and we look for solutions for it. So then the location of the sensor using GPS we try to do. Then dielectric soil monitoring, optical sensor. So everywhere we use this nanotechnology and we try to develop it. So this is where at every stage you guys can play a very important role. And all these things, if you see at end application, it's more towards sustainable agriculture. Drones are also used today, so that's okay. Remote monitoring, all at various places. So where we do data analysis, again we use climate agriculture. So I will. Okay. So with this, we will try to stop and we'll have questions. So when you look into agriculture, these are all the places where so many different genetic changes have happened, right? So for all these genetic changes, they have made the nanoparticles a part of it, and then they start dictating it. So beetroot, cabbage. So if you look at it 80 years later, by 1983, few of these varieties were found in National Seed Storage Laboratory. So now this was there. And today you see how the productivity has improved by integrating nanotechnology in a sustainable manner in agriculture. So you can see here, it was 412 or something. Now it has gone 307 per acre. So this is 497 varieties which are there. And cucumber, you have got some 285 varieties. So many different things are developed based upon the compositions and changes. So I would stop here. I would be interested to take some questions. So I have made presentation which talks about more of sustainable agriculture. So how did it change people's life and other things? But as such, technology-wise, nanotechnology is going to play a very important role. This is another interesting technology if you see. So what they have done is they have done a drum which rotates. When this rotates, it also tries to release fertilizer injectors that gets into the soil. Then you see soya seed which gets sit on top of the soil. You see, so there is a difference. So these people will try to take care, or these are all the stress sensors. So they will try to take care of what is required from the soil, and it will release after a certain period of time, or it will try to ease out at the required stress levels when there is coming from the soil. So these are all lot of new things which are coming up. So that's what I thought I will present in front of you. So you see the sustainable grazing of livelihood. How does it happen? Organic fertilizer. How does all these things happen? Okay, so I would like to take questions if there are any. It's all completely made from the view of sustainable agriculture. So how neem coating urea wins over plain urea. So again, this neem is extracted, and then you try to generate a nanoparticle, and then that is given to it. So you can see how the soil cards have been given. So this is what it is. So I thought I will present it. So I'm done. If you have any questions, you can ask me.
So, like just you told about the infusion of fertilizer, no? Just almost the last slide, where you are infusing the fertilizer below the soya seed. Yeah, in this. So, what type of fertilizer is it not going to make the soil important? This fertilizer.
This will again be a sustainable solution, right? Which is organic, which gets dissolved in the soil, and it tries to enrich the soil.
The type of the fertilizer is different.
This fertilizer will be all organic. So it will not be that NPK, these things. So we are trying to replace it. Yeah, and again it will be, what they are trying to say is they will not try to take a nanoparticle. They will try to make something like a medicine. And this will be injected into the soil. It will be placed at several locations. As and when the water content is to some extent such that it can dilute the tablet, it can dilute and it can start releasing.
In small area, you can produce
lots of. Yeah, so that's what it is.
Without using the chemical fertilizer.
Yes. And the organic, for example, the neem-based and all, we don't have a process plan for extracting neem in an efficient way. Neem oil in an efficient way. We don't. There is no business, so we did not do it. But now here we are looking into
neem oil.
Neem oil extraction.
Neem oil normally we are using just to avoid the fungus on the leaves, the top of the plant. We are spraying this.
Correct.
Organic, not damaging the plant.
And the second thing is neem, which is currently extracted, oil extraction happens. The process efficiency is only 6%. So it's very low. Now you know there is a lot of agriculture, there is a lot of need. Now let us go back and start working on the process plant. How do we enhance?
That is not feasible.
It's not. Nobody has invested time and energy in it. So that's what. Though everybody says its requirements are there, we don't have process plant. So that is one thing which is very, very important. We are looking at. Lot of other medicinal plants also. We have not worked on extracting the distillation methods have not been done in a very big way. So all these things, what we do is we are all looking for engineered based output, wherein which we can control the output. We go for this. But whatever is naturally available, converting it, we still don't have. For example, lemongrass extraction, the processing efficiency is 12%. No way energy efficient. But still, we are happy, and it's a very small industry, so they dictate, so we are happy.
So there are a lot of scope in there.
Yes. Lot of scope. And yeah, that's what I said in agriculture. Even sandal oil, what gets generated, the process efficiency is 4%. So that's what it is. And distillation, majority of them, they do only distillation process. And all these distillation processes are age-old processes, which got developed in 1979, not even 1900. They just heat it from one side, put the oil, and then pass water to it. It gets steam, food. Agriculture, there are a lot of journals which are into those journals. Agriculture, it is not thought of in a very big way, and anything is fine. So you don't have to hit at 100 nanometer. If you can hit at even 500 nanometer, that's okay. But you have to develop energy. We will be discussing. These are all for large scale. Moment I wanted to make it for a small scale. Many of the tricks cannot be used. So you have to think of something which is low cost sustainable. Now the government of India has come up in a big way where to convert all this menthol. They wanted to improve the productivity. And then they are also looking for, from menthol, can we make some nanoparticles which can be used in agricultural applications? They are looking for it. And coating of fruits, not waxing it, coating of fruits in an organic fashion such that it does not release any bad elements to the atmosphere. That is also now done. So there is a huge scope for chemical engineers in terms of sustainability for agriculture.
I have a curiosity, not a question. That, like, if you look at the growth of population, it has increased with a very fast pace, and now it is stabilizing. And there is a limit to which what we can eat. The production of food has also grown in the same manner as the population has increased. We can have more number of clothes, but we cannot have more food. And one of the biggest issue is the obesity. So growing more food for a sustaining, if you look in terms of sustainability, and the population is going to stagnate with a culture of human culture, like people are moving, whosoever gets developed, the growth, the birth rate decreases. So at if we look in terms of sustainability, growing more food, it will be more important, or growing more other type of requirement like fuel or something.
Food. See, we are all in urbanized world or urbanized city. Right? So here we talk about 3 times a day. If you go to typically 50 kilometers from here in the remotest village, there they eat only 2 times a day. And still there is a huge need for money for buying food in this country. So we have crossed that. We have all gone the middle class or lower middle class. There is a huge class which is there in the lower class. So there, even today, there is a struggle for food.
Even then, also, if you look in terms of sustainability, if you try to decrease the cost, it will impact the people who are doing it.
Yeah. See, agriculture is also pretty interesting. This thing. See, okay, let me give you another example. You make ketchups, right? We all consume tomato ketchup, this kind of. Assuming that there is 20% original tomato they use in the production, 20% they use. So that 20% when they use, there is so much of seed in tomato. What will you do with the seed? We don't know. Papaya, right? We make tutti frutti, we put it in cake. All these things we do. The papaya is used for all these syrups and other things they make. Finally, papaya has so much of seed. We don't know what to do with the seeds. Your production rate has gone high for jam, right? But if you come down, every day we discard so much of seed into the soil back. We don't know what to do.
This
We don't, you can say waste, what do we do with the waste? So can we think of converting that into a value added product?
Organic fertilizer like that.
But seed, what will you do, sir? Seed, you cannot germinate it once again.
No,
And
not germination, sir. We can use the seeds for as a fertilizer, no? For some other.
No, like seed
We can
side
develop.
is, there with the help of seed, you can produce bio.
correct, correct. So the seeds are too low. So those are the places where we need a lot of chemical engineering people to look from waste to value added product. Maybe if you say oil extraction, fine. So try something in that way. So how do you extract from tomato seeds, from papaya seeds? What do you extract? How do you extract? So that is what it is. So the population will grow up to 2050. The growth in which population grows, the growth in which agricultural output comes are it's going down. So there is a huge margin difference. So at some point of time, we have to increase. When we start increasing, we are overstraining the soil. So when you overstrain the soil, at some point of time, it becomes important. It will not be further used for any more production. So then you have to wait for 100 years or 20 years to recycle and bring the fertility into the soil and then start producing. Deforestation is not allowed. And urbanization is growing in a big way. Agriculture is stuck in between, so they are not able to produce. And interestingly, agriculture also is one beautiful industry. If you go buy in April or May, it is around about 50 to 80 rupees a kilo. When it is good season, you get 50 paise a kilo. So again, here we don't know. Here there is a huge scope for a chemical engineer to look into how do we protect these tomatoes such that it can be kept during the, like potato, you have a cold storage. Can we have something for it also? And then how do you process it? Or can you convert it into a semi-processed food, which can be stored, and then later when there is a starvation happening, can you release it? For example, egg, what happens? Initially they were only producing it for human consumption. Then they figured out our consumption rate is not so high, the egg production rate is very high. Then they figured out, okay, now we will try to have a new business. Then came the shampoo. You all have egg shampoos, right? Then what these fellows did was they took an egg before the egg could get spoiled. They came up with a semi-processing something to the egg, and then they converted as a raw material for shampoo industry. So they have now enhanced the economy which is there. So again, here we need chemical engineers to contribute and then grow. So there is a huge scope. And today what has happened is everything is mass customization. Mass customization for a small quantity. For a small quantity. So that's what we are looking for. If I have 10 acres of land, this is what is that so much of menthol I'm going to produce or mint I'm going to produce. From there, how do we extract? Currently, if you are a small farmer, they try to do their extraction using a pressure cooker. They put 5 kilos or 3 kilos into a big pressure cooker, steam it, and then the safety valve is already there. They extract the oil distillation process, condense it, and then they extract the oil. That's what is the state of the art they do because their requirements are small. If you have a large vessels to done, the energy efficiency is not more than 15%. So the farmers are stuck. And sometimes they get into so much of frustration. Whatever they produce, they throw it in the road and they go away. They say, okay, I cannot keep it in my house. What do I do? Throw it. They dig, throw it, or discard it. And then. So there is a lot of requirements in sustainability there. Process industry is one where a huge scope is there. Huge scope. Convert raw material into semi-processed, store it, or the semi-processed to finished, or try to enhance the lifestyle or the living of the plant or the whatever it is. So we need self-life, we need some solutions. Okay, so I think I have not touched the processing part, but I thought I should present this because a lot of scope is there. And there is a lot of innovation required in this area. When youngsters like you guys are sitting, you should look forward for a lot of innovations. Why can't there be a fertilizer in a form of a tablet? So we just, and now if you have it like a tablet, inserting the tablet into the soil is easy.
Yeah.
And then this soil, and then you can program it. How can you program it? When the water content crosses this level, you try to break or you try to dissolve. Or if there is enough of dryness around, then you break, have a temperature responding chemical into it. Again, which has to be organic. Okay. So this is what I wanted to present. So I think I have done, at least I have appealed you, I think. But in India, there is a huge scope. And not only India, a lot of underdeveloped countries are looking forward. Okay. So I think I am done. Thank you so much. There are questions anymore, I will be ready to take questions.
Thank you so much, sir, for the enlightening session over sustainable agriculture. I would like to invite the Minister to come and thank you.
Yeah. So it is a pleasure. I know sir for long. He's such a big man, so happy to.
Thank you very much. It was a wonderful experience because this field, in fact, we were not doing much about this field. So you have explained many things. And it is very certain that compared to other countries like Japan or China, Japan or Korea, our country is very rich in agriculture. This is agricultural based country. And then too, we are not able to access the agriculture as sir has told, there are so many inputs in every area, whether it is processing or whether it is growing the plant, the seeds like tablet, what we have told is a very good idea because sometimes we eat the tablet to fill our stomach. The people who are going on the space, they are taking the tablet. So similarly, we can use the tablet as a fertilizer for the plants also. So there are lots of scope, lots of research work is to be done on this area. So thank you very much, sir. Once again, you have told a lot of things, new things, incorporation of nanotechnology in the agriculture. Wonderful idea. Thank you very much.
Now I would like to invite Dr. Ashutosh Chattopadhyay to present Momento.
आइए सर आप भी आइए। You're also part. Okay, sir, and wish you good luck. I think these courses activities are very good. Help you. So I'm sure you will have a lot of questions, and some people will think, okay, it's an abstract thought, but there is a lot of need from a chemical engineering side towards that. So I thought let me present you the brief. Wish you all good luck. Thank you, sir.